Assalamu alaikum.
We're just starting.
We're just starting, bro. Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's so nice to see you in person, bro.
Likewise, akhi.
Even when we speak online, you have such a calming vibe. And I would have been shocked if it was opposite, having met you in person. But even just like the couple minutes that I've seen you in person, you have met the standard that I have set for you in my head, which was a very high bar, very calming, very beautiful person, bro.
Did you expect me to be taller?
No, not at all. No, I expected you to be the exact height that you are. Alhamdulillah.
I meet a lot when I meet some brothers from YouTube. For some reason, I have an assumption of like how big they are. Some people are very like domineering, maybe, or whatever. But
yes.
I always wonder what's people's perception of me before they actually meet me in person.
Yeah, maybe because, bro, like, I've known of you for years and years and years and years and years, right? So it's like you're, it's not, I guess over the years you kind of familiarize yourself, I guess, right? Like Sam of Arabia was really the first rendition, wasn't it? We obviously spoke about this in the last episode. Right?
Yeah, so like it was always the objective to teach the Arabic language. Like the Arabic language has always been a huge part of like even my journey to Islam, and I think even the plan that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has for me here involves helping people who are, even people as far away from the Qur'an as I was before I came to Islam, helping people like that, like being an example for people like that maybe who can learn the Arabic language and can share it with others. But yeah, so it was always like the objective to do the Arabic stuff, but I saw this opportunity when, like shortly after I'd got married, there was this opportunity to kind of share the experience of me learning Somali rather than presenting myself as like a Somali teacher. And that's how the Sama Somalia stuff kind of came about. It was just me documenting, like I've learned this little phrase in Somali and stuff like that. And sometimes that actually social media is much better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like sharing the experience of learning something rather than coming and saying, I'm Ustad, Keda or Keda, you know? So,
and it kind of holds you accountable as well, doesn't it? Because you're publicizing your journey.
And there's also or I'd say a reduced potential for imposter syndrome, because you are just saying, look, I am just a bumbling learner.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm Sheikh of Somali. Do you know what I mean? So yes, that's definitely part of it. But that stuff, as I say, social media is much better. So most people kind of came to know me through like the Somali language stuff at first.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm a person who has quite a simple brain in terms of people's roles. I think of people as like teacher, doctor,
right,
like engineer. And I didn't really know what my thing was in the Somali language space or the Somali like space generally. And the one that I'm kind of pushed into is funny white guy goes into Makhayad and surprises Somalis. And I really disliked that.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that as like almost like a corruption or a reduction of how meaningful learning languages is. Do you know what I mean? Because it's what people always encourage me to do. They're like, oh, we should take this video of you going into Brothers in Tottenham in North London and like you speak, white guy speaks Somali type thing. And I don't know, that doesn't really speak to why I learn languages.
Well, I'm really glad that you decided not to do that, because I think, and that content does work great for some people and it comes across authentic and fun to watch and it's enjoyable to watch. But the most important thing with creating content is that a person is authentic, and your authentic personality just doesn't sit in that kind of space. You have, this great kind of like level of decorum about your personality. I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see you walking into store surprising people with language. Right. I think like, so I'm glad you made that decision, because you have kind of always a little every time when we've spoken previously, you've kind of like, am I right in thinking, struggled a bit with understanding where you should sit in the content space or even in what you're producing, because you have so many options available. It's like you're in a very unique position and situation, and you are a great teacher. So it's like, where do I sit? Are you still in that kind of like always there's like a tug of war constantly in your head?
Far less so over the past sort of 3 months.
Nice.
I really enjoyed the section where you and Brother Imran spoke actually about having like purpose for it. Do you know what I mean? Like in the past, like negative comments or something might have affected you more. But when you have a purpose, you kind of know what your mission is.
Sure.
You've got a mission anyway. Do you know what I mean? And like if they don't like it, well, maybe they're not the people you're serving in your mission anyway. And I just didn't really know where I kind of sat in this. But about, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, I sat down. There's a brother who's a student of mine who really helped me as well with this, with just trying to dig deep about what do you really want to contribute, like, and what are you good at, what kind of resonates with your skills. And so, I think last time we spoke, I'd been teaching a program called the Arabic in 60 Steps program.
Yes.
Like, I kind of built that program, and we had a few thousand students on that program at that point. And, when you've been teaching Arabic, like I started when I graduated, I was about 22, taught that for 8 years or something. You really learn a lot about the kind of students who end up coming to you, the kind of people who you really want to focus on. And so I decided to. So like all of that is rebranding to something called Arabic Reconnect,
Nice.
which specifically focuses on like established English-speaking Muslims from mostly the USA, UK, and Canada.
Amazing.
Because those are just the students who generally come to me, and men as well, because most of the students just happen to be brothers. So, like in the online space, I think there's real strength in not being I teach Arabic. Do you know what I mean? That's just not specific enough for the internet, because people don't understand you. So this is like Arabic for religious Muslims who can afford to invest in their experience, who want to learn how to understand the Qur'ān and speak Fus'ha. Just those two specific goals. Because I think most people, when they present themselves as Arabic teachers, they're like, I teach Arabic. Ahlan wa sahlan. Do you know what I mean? But so over the past few months, exactly. yeah. But actually, like, learning the Arabic language it's an enormous field, and lots of people come and say, I want to learn Arabic, but they have lots of different goals. Some people have goals that are perfectly admirable.
Yes.
Like wanting to order a falafel in a restaurant. It's perfectly admirable. Some people have goals that are not so admirable. Right. They want to chat up someone in particular or whatever, right? I've had these conversations with people before.
I've met all types of myself as well, actually, yeah.
So I think it's important for Arabic teachers who are in the online space to dig deep and think, like, who do you really help? Like, what is the actual goal? That although there's a perfectly admirable goals, or some of them not so admirable, what is the goal that you help with? Sure. Do you know what I mean? So I think I've done a much better job of that over the past few months, and so now I have alhamdulillah, a lot more clarity. Oh, that's incredible, because the clarity is the most important part. 100%. Knowing exactly who you're servicing, and they say to create an audience of one, and it seems like you've done that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's funny because I remember speaking to one of the close brother of ours outside the mosque maybe like a year ago, and he was like, I've started learning Arabic. And we were like, oh, cool. And in my mind, everyone that I've met that's learning Arabic is learning, really learning Fus'ha, and for the sake of, first and foremost, understanding more of the Qur'ān and the scholars and the books of the scholars and the lectures of the scholars and stuff like that. And this brother was like, oh yeah, I'm learning Emirati dialect so that I can, do more business. And as much as that, there's nothing wrong with that goal at all. It took me by surprise, because anytime somebody says they're learning Arabic, I've only ever had an interaction with somebody when they're like trying to learn specifically Fus'ha. So I found that interesting, and I almost wanted to be like, oh, why don't you learn Fus'ha first, and then like build other like dialects off of the back of it, and then you get like kind of like both advantages. But yeah, it's interesting. What's your take on how people should learn Arabic? I did not want this to go into like an Arabic interview, but we're naturally flowing into it, so we'll go. And then I want to step back a little bit, or kind of back to kind of what you're up to in life as well. But there seems to be two camps with Arabic. I don't know if we discussed this on our last episode, because it was like 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. Because I must have just started Tartil. Yeah, I think, well, I remember us being both at a similar stage, that you were a few months into life in Dubai as well, and I was like 2 weeks into life in Mogadishu. Yes, and you also had not yet started working with the brothers at Arabic Unlocked. Unlocked. Are you still there? No. Okay. I was there for about a year. Fine. Alhamdulillah, we did amazing work there. Like, we oversaw their app pass 1 million downloads. And alhamdulillah, like we served many students. Amazing. It got to a point where it just wasn't the thing. Nice. It is what it is. These things happen. Of course. Okay, two camps with Arabic, it seems. One is like, the way to learn is classic, learning the rules and going down that route, learning the rules first. And then the second camp seems to be like learning vocab first. Which camp do you sit in? Because it seems like there's been a bit of a transition over the past few years, even with those who have learnt the original way and now seem to be more pro the second way. Yeah, I'm with you. So the analogy that I think of when you say that is like, well, are there builders who have a camp of just building with bricks, and are there builders who just build with cement?
Yeah.
No, they all build with cement and bricks. Do you
Right.
know what I mean? So I see these two things as things that just need to be done together. I suppose I view it in a more blended way. But that's because the program that I've, like my real rebuilding of the Arabic in 60 Steps program, Arabic Reconnect, is like a really understanding that there are these two kind of prongs to the approach of learning the Arabic language. There's one that's like very science, very precise, of learning specifically grammar to understand the Qur'an with precision. And that is science. It needs to be science. We want to understand the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with precision. But then they kind of take that philosophy to the speaking side of the program, and then they end up being over judgmental if someone's speaking Arabic and they pronounce something with a fatha when it should be jar and things like this. But speaking is play. Like the speaking of the Arabic language, this is play, not performance. So sometimes we have a problem. Like sometimes people bring like a speaking philosophy to like the Qur'an side, and they're not precise enough. So I don't know. I think I'm not answering your question, but deliberately, because I have a different approach to it now. Like Arabic Reconnect, we focus on these as two completely separate strands. There's like play, it's art. Just get the Arabic out your face. You will make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
It's no judgment at all, right? It's like a very safe space for people just to get Arabic out as best they can, even if their grammar will be horrible. But bro, like, even us when we speak in English, our grammar's horrible. If my grandma listened to our conversation, like, she would tell us both off, bro. We'd both be getting it. Because our English grammar
and deservedly so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because like our English grammar goes out the window.
Yeah.
So why are we putting a standard on learners of the Arabic language who've been learning for like a few months, a standard that's not even on the native speakers to have like this kind of perfect grammar? So I don't know, the only thing I would warn people about having a very grammar approach to learning Arabic is bringing that type of precision and judgment to the speaking side, because it will hold you back. It held me back a lot, I'll be honest, bro.
Can you give us an example of a typical thing that held you back in that way?
I don't know if I've ever spoken about this publicly, but like I judge myself really aggressively. Like I'm really unkind to myself actually sometimes. Like if there's any reason that I have to tell myself I don't belong in a particular thing or whatever, like it will foster, it will fester, I mean, really in my mind. And
what a shame. That is a shame.
Maybe. Like, yeah. But I don't judge others like that. Like I try to be really kind in how I judge other people, but
there's some goodness in that, like, you know, you hear about like Imam Shafi was like strict on himself and soft on others. But I think there's also a level where you're undeservedly being harsh on yourself, which you could be. Yeah,
and then you end up not serving in the way that you could really benefit people, you know. So like for me, for a long time, I was like very grammar and literature and reading and writing of Arabic only.
Sure.
Because I was scared to speak Arabic, bro. I've got a degree in the Arabic language. I've lived in Palestine. Like I do speak Arabic. I make mistakes in my Arabic because I make mistakes in my English. Do you know what I mean? When I'm speaking, I'm having a good time. But like because of that, I was so worried that someone would take a clip of something that I'd said on YouTube and be like, this guy says he's an Arabic teacher, but he said, you know, ghurfatan instead of ghurfatin in this sentence. Like, so that would be an example of me doing that thing myself, but I've learned it the hard way. Do you know what I mean? I don't want that for my students, so I'm making a lot of effort now to have two very clear kind of avenues within my Arabic program to give students the freedom to just make your mistakes, to make silly mistakes, but there's zero judgment in the speaking side. So yeah, I mean that's just an example from myself really.
Yeah. My lessons that I have with my Arabic teacher, typically I've gone down the route that many have gone down, which is like a Zoom Arabic lessons with a sheikh from Egypt. But he is special, man. Allahumma barik. Like he's such a special individual. And he actually now watches Especially Kind, so he might hear me saying that. But it's really nice because he took the approach of we read books and stuff as well and then like translate them, but also sometimes he'll just sit with me and have a conversation and allow me to make mistakes, and I don't feel pressure. I kind of feel really relaxed speaking to him, which I haven't experienced before, because I always feel, like you said, a lot of pressure because I make like 101 mistakes, but he allows me to make the mistakes and then very gently like will rephrase them and things like that. And it just like works really well. So I think if you manage to find something like that, it's really useful. Another thing I found really useful, which I don't think you're doing this right now, but I've seen bits of content in the past that you've been putting out, just like, online on different platforms, but I would really push you to do this because it's been so useful for me, and I just wish there was more of it. So there's a guy on YouTube who he's like Russian or French or something, and he's learned Arabic and now he teaches it. And what he does is it's called like basic or like easy to understand Arabic podcast, something like that.
Right.
And like for SEO, it's great, right? Because it's literally the thing that you want. And it'll be a podcast. Sometimes just him speaking by himself, and other times him interviewing somebody in Fus'ha. But like it's slow, it's easy, you can follow along, and you can play it in the car and you listen to a conversation between two people and you don't fall off too much. Like even if I'm sitting in a khutbah right now, I start to catch the beginning, and unless I'm listening with 100% focus, I'll miss a massive chunk because for me, my brain is not an Arabic brain still, right? And so I have to really listen, and then even within the sentences, I catch parts of the sentence, and then like because I've caught enough of the sentence, I can fill in the gaps and say, oh well, he probably means that and stuff like that, right? But that requires full attention, whereas this podcast doesn't. I want to find it for you actually, because I was listening the other day.
I resonate with that with Somali so much, right? Because sometimes at my place in Mogadishu, like some auntie will come to the door, and we'll start the conversation, and she'll be wanting something from my wife or whatever, and I'll be looking at her, and she'll say 2 words that I just don't understand. And I've got to weigh this up in my head. Do I stop her and tell her to explain the thing she said 3 minutes ago? Or do I
take an educated guess?
Or do I wait for her to say a few words that help me fill in the gap, just hoping? It happens all the time. I imagine, like, what does my face look like at the moment? You can probably see the cogs in my head going around weighing up whether...
That's exactly what it's like, man. Okay, so this guy is called Learn Arabic with Khasu.
Oh, mashallah. Yeah.
Do you know this guy?
Yeah, of course. May Allah bless the brother.
Yeah, and so this is examples of Arabic conversation, and it just conversating, and it's really easy to follow along. If you have like done a little bit of Arabic, you understand, or if you're a native Arab speaker, but like from somewhere where it's really strong in lahja, this is a good thing to listen to because and you want to improve your Fus'ha, this is great to listen to because you will understand such a large chunk of it, but just like how to put
I think he's from the Caucasus, by the way. He might be based in Turkey at the moment, but
oh really? Where is he from?
I think he's Chechen or
Chechen.
One of those places. Forgive me, brother, if I've got it wrong, but because I listened to a few of them, and I think I remember him saying that
Look at the title of his podcast. I think it's such a great title. It's called Podcast in Easy Arabic.
It's beautiful.
Like if I literally wanted to search something, I'll be like, podcast in Easy Arabic.
Mashallah,
but it's so useful, but he doesn't do enough of them. Or I'm just like late to. So I would love to. I think there's so much space for so many more individuals to just create podcasts in Easy Arabic.
Yeah.
And just like having a natter like how we normally do, but just slow, calm. And I would listen to them all the time in the car.
With you. Yeah, I've thought about doing that with some of my students even, because it works on 2 levels. Like it kind of showcases the kind of students that we put out of our program as well. And we get to talk about, if they mention how good the program is, then all the better. But but primarily it's an educational resource, isn't it, for people?
Do you find it challenging putting content out? Or like do you second guess yourself? Because you seem like a man of great ideas and even execution, and you're also very resourceful. If you wanted to, you could be putting out anything you want, whenever you want, because you've got all of the ability to do it by yourself as well. So what stops you from like just killing it on YouTube?
For a long time, it's just been clarity.
Okay.
Like I haven't, when I've actually created a video, I've never been a person who's like been rewatching it on preview before I actually hit publish. Never been that person. I remember like before I created any videos on YouTube, I remember watching it might have been an Elliot Hull's video where he said like the only requirement he gives himself is, was he sincere?
Wow.
And like I just carried that myself after that. I just, before I press publish, was I sincere? Not like, is this perfect? Not, will this get 100,000 views or whatever the metric was for me at the time? It might have been like 100 views at the time, or whatever that might be, right? It was just, was I sincere? And I thought that's a really good philosophy just to carry forward, because it's not tied to the result. It's not tied to it being perfect. It's something that you can control. Were you sincere, or as sincere as you can be? I think sincerity is something that we work on, isn't it? But so no is the answer. I never struggled with that. The struggle for me has always been clarity and direction,
aspect,
really.
yeah.
Like over the past few months, it's really been that my focus has been on serving my students at the back end of it, really. Like I put out one sort of, this is what Arabic Reconnect is about video on my Arabic with Sam channel. And then just from that, I mean, loads of people have wanted to join the program. So I've just been focusing on serving them. Like I want the first kind of batch of 20, 30, 50 students to have an amazing experience. So
nice, man.
There's lots of things involved with that. Like
that's also ihsan. You know, you say sincerity, but there's such a big part of that is you wanting to make sure that what you're putting out has excellence in it, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And there's other things involved that were totally new to me. I mean, I mentioned this program is sort of taught, rather than a 60-step program, it's kind of two 30-step programs, like Arabic for the Qur'ān one and Arabic for speaking Fus'ha one. And I don't do the mentorship for the speaking one. Like I've hired native speakers who do that for me. And when you're talking about your teacher, like I hire purely on agreeableness. Are these brothers people my students will become friends with who happen to speak Arabic with them? You know, I don't want to hire people who are like ustad al-lugha and they're there just to like take notes from this person. I want them to actually become friends with them and then be a friend who they happen to speak Arabic with. So like that was something that resonated with me because I entirely hire on that. Like brothers who are warm, they have like a warm demeanor. You want to chat to them about what life is like where they live and stuff like this. So yeah, so I mean, I've been focusing on a lot of things really, but behind the scenes at the moment. But it's totally the objective, inshallah, to be getting back to YouTube and higher quality videos, inshallah, in the next few weeks, maybe when I get back from Dubai, maybe, or if I stay here.
Really? Well, that's incredible, bro, because I do really like hold you in such high regard, and I think that you carry yourself so well, and Allahumma barik, you're very well articulated in English at least. So I can only imagine also in Somali and in Arabic and in sign. Can you be well articulated in sign language?
Yeah. Some people have like road accent.
No way. So Laman has a language-related question for you, but before I give it to him, I do want to ask you about these different languages. So there's Somali, there's Arabic, obviously English, and then there's sign. Is there any other languages that you've learned?
So my first like language love in a way was Spanish. I was
going to mention Spanish,
but like these languages, they're not all like the same level. I don't kind of present myself as like an expert on all of them. Of course. Or whatever. But those are like the languages that are sort of somewhere in the.
Well, I was going to ask next: is there another language that you want to learn? And then I was hoping you were going to say, "What about you?" And then I would have said Spanish.
right. Sorry.
So you've stolen my whole shtick.
So I would really love to learn Urdu.
Really?
In fact, I took like 12 Urdu lessons a while ago. I realized I was spreading myself too thin. Like I was living in Somalia, having to learn Somali and using Arabic for my work and like using sign language at home. I was just spreading myself too thin.
Yeah.
At the time, but I would really, bro, I'd love to learn.
What did you pick up in your 12 lessons?
I can write the script.
Really?
Yeah, like quite a lot of things. Yeah, I can't like deliver a monologue about like who I am or whatever. But
any word you can just feed us.
Teri Sufi hai Frangi, Teri Qali hai Irani. Little bit of Maulana Iqbal there. It's like a message to the youth, isn't it?
Say it again.
Teri Sufi hai Ifrangi. Your sofas are Ifrangi. I think he really means they're European, but it's like Frankish, isn't it?
Oh, man, that's bad of me because I didn't understand that, and I can speak Urdu. I said Teri.
And then Teri Qali with like a noon ghunna on the end. It means your carpets, I think. Irani are like Iranian. Yeah, it's a poem that he has about how the youth. Yeah, because
it sounds like, very like I would just say carpet in a Pakistani accent.
Got it. Yeah.
So like this is what you're saying about saying things well and properly, like our grandparents, versus the road version.
Right.
I am really intrigued what road sign language is like, but I'll let someone ask this question first, then you can tell me.
Okay,
so I speak English only.
Okay.
And a little bit of Arabic when I was young. I went to Arabic school, so I have like a basic understanding of like vocab. But one of my goals is, especially now I'm out in Dubai, is to learn Arabic. So it's two questions. One, would you recommend somebody learning like Fus'ha Arabic? because I've heard there's a difference between that and conversational Arabic. So what would you recommend, firstly? And secondly, if someone was persistent, let's just say maybe they'll give 2 hours a week, so an hour each lesson, twice a week. How long would it take someone to actually learn a language to a point where they can fully conversate with someone?
Beautiful. So the first question, the general rule, and I am biased because I love for the Muslims to reconnect with the Qur'an and our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is learn Fus'ha first, at least for a good amount of time. Because the transition from Fus'ha to what we call Arabic, like spoken dialects, is much easier than the other way around. Like, honestly, some of my most challenging students have been preparing native Arabic-speaking kids for the Arabic GCSE in the UK because they've been using Arabic, what they believe to be Arabic, and they've been using it with their grandma their whole life. And then I turn up at their house and tell them they have to say, أريد أن أذهب إلى السوق. I turn up and start telling them this, right? So that transition is very hard, but it's much easier to go from Fus'ha to Ta'amiyya. Like I've done it in multiple places just on this trip. Like I'm typically like a Fus'ha only person, but just being in Mecca for a few days and Medina for a few days, like I generally started to like fall into their Arabiyya and like their customs. So that'd be my answer to the first question. Generally for people, that might be worth saying something about here in Dubai as well. Like I've only been here for a few days, but I get the impression that English is kind of the main language, really.
And then after that, it's Urdu.
And then after that, it's probably Urdu, right?
So you need to get your Urdu up.
Yeah, you need to get your Urdu up. But then even among the Arabs, there's lots of different Arabs here. Yeah. Like yesterday, I took my kids to a barber, and there were two guys speaking Arabic. Then I thought, this is ajib.
Are they Egyptian?
People speaking Arabic. No, one was Syrian, one was Moroccan.
Right.
So, but in any case, Fus'ha would serve you in that situation because all Arabs understand Fus'ha. Yeah. The second question about the level that you would get over a certain amount of time is an interesting one and perhaps an incomplete one, because when we learn a language, or maybe anything, we don't really learn in a very linear manner. Like your learning experience will be like this. You'll have like, the novelty will be up at the beginning and you'll make some progress, and then there'll be a dip. And then your sister will get married and there'll be another dip when you need to travel for something, and then you'll be stood in Salat al-Maghrib and you'll hear an ayah you love and you'll be back on it for a little bit. So what I kind of encourage students to do is more study in seasons. Like if you look at your life over the next 3 months, think, can I have an intense season? You know, so there are some seasons in people's lives where they can, and other seasons where they can't have an intense season. So, so maybe it's not really about like 2 hours a day. It's more about 2 hours a day for the next 3 months, and then understand it more like that, because people don't learn Arabic in 3 months or in a year. Do you know what I mean? It's more about making a commitment now that you are an Arabic student now. With no deadline, like you are just, that's your identity now. And some phases in it will be more aggressive and some will be more relaxed. And not to judge yourself, like be really kind to yourself in that. Like when you frame it like that, you can be kinder. You can say this is just an off season. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to circle a proper answer to your question though, because you also mentioned about like a good level of Arabic, which is really hard to define as well, isn't it? Like there are some attempts, like have you heard of like the framework of European languages, like A1, A2. Yeah. Like even that for Arabic, I don't think it works perfectly. Like some people have a phenomenal command over Arabic in lots of ways, but they'd score very low on that because maybe they don't know how to ask for a bottle of water at Cafe Nero or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But let me answer it with like a broad answer on my experience, like from my students. My students typically have like 3 months of intensity, and then they rein it back to like 3 hours a week after that. So let's say you were to do like 2 hours.
3 hours a week, still a lot of
it is
less.
But I'll force it on.
For me, that sounded like the intense season.
SubhanAllah. No, but you said 2 hours a day, isn't it? So if you're going to do 2 hours a day for like 3 months.
2 hours a day or week? No. So I said 2 hours a week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Allah understand.
You're never going to get there.
No. Okay, so that is more like treating it like a marathon rather than a sprint, isn't it? Like that is an assumption that that's something you can do indefinitely. You know.
Because you are going to need indefinite time.
Like that.
That sounds like a lot, man. 2 hours a week. I'm doing 2 hours a week right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot for me.
No,
I'm like, even today I was driving, I was like, oh, it's Thursday, so I got my Arabic lesson. Like, how am I gonna? Oh, I forgot about it. Like, about 2 hours is intense.
No, but like, because there's an amount of time that you would do with a teacher,
That's
an amount
true.
of time you do by yourself, and so I mean, like in total.
That's true. And brothers around you. I recently, we've stopped now, to be honest. But about 2 months ago, I told one of the brothers, Suleiman's older brother, to only speak to me in Arabic.
Okay.
And we managed to maintain it for, I want to say, a good few weeks.
Okay.
Maybe like, as in maybe over a month. We just would, and we spoke every day.
Right.
And we just wouldn't have a conversation. And it was difficult, but you got through it and it was fun. And I learned a lot. And then we just somehow like, we needed to have a really important, serious conversation about the kids and arrange something. And it was like, for a second, I just need to speak in English, okay? And then that's it. It was just gone.
Right. Let me try to answer the question by giving a different formula and see if I can answer the question.
Okay.
So your question was this amount of time invested with this result. What if I say, let's just say the result is like fluency. Let's say that's the result we want. We want beautiful Arabic. So let's not put the result in the equation. Let's just put the amount of time in terms of like how much weekly and an amount of time in terms of how many years. Let's just say 2 hours. Let's just say just do 2 hours a week for a year and then just see where you are. Yeah. But don't put a limit on like where it is. Because even sometimes in the question we're saying like, how do I get to a level where I can like get by? Why do you want to get by, bro? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like commit to a certain amount of time investment, I suppose, and then see where you are at the end of that. Because the result of like describing a level of language command, I find it very challenging. It's really difficult. It's in the industry of like learning and teaching the Arabic language. Most people, like the laity, when we talk about learning languages, we speak in very binary terms. I'm like, bro, do you speak Urdu? The answer to that question is either yes or no, generally, right? Like a do you question. I'm not generally, average people don't say like, how much Urdu do you speak? Or what is your Urdu level? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So customers come to us Arabic teachers and they want the result of speaking Arabic. They want to answer yes to that question. That's a big amount of knowledge, bro. Like for someone to say yes. And when people ask me if I speak Arabic, I'm nervous to say yes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's really challenging, bro. Like to articulate that well. Like, you know, I don't know if I've answered your question really, Akhi. I think I've spoken around it and maybe given a different goal, I suppose. Yeah. Set an amount of time that you'll invest a certain amount of time into, and then at the end of it, have high ambitions for that. You know, rather than trying to limit it by saying, how do I get to a stage where my Arabic's like, all right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Really, it sounds like what you're saying is that it's also is kind of similar to when you want to become hench. And then someone goes to PT and they're like, and it's like, well, how much are you willing to train? You can get there, it's possible, but it's by putting the hours in and you have to do it over a long period of time. Otherwise, but like with languages and also with fitness, we just go, oh, like, I just want it now. Like, why do I have to go to the gym, 3-4 times a week and I'm not noticing a difference? And then, maybe in 6 months I'll notice, and then it's like frustrating. But really, anything worth having, you have to put in hours long term, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And also there, like, with getting hench or with speaking fluent Arabic.
Of which you are proficient in both.
Oh, well. Like, both of them, we talk about them as if they're goals, but they're actually things that you need to maintain.
A lifestyle,
do you know what I
yes.
mean? And even like doing your hifz of the Qur'ān as well. Like, in a way, it's like the easy bit is your hifz. Like the maintaining of it is really hard. Like the amount of revision you need to do when you've memorized a significant portion of the Qur'an is it's like that. It's almost as if you need to commit to it as a lifestyle that you will maintain even after you've achieved a certain level, really. And unfortunately, language is like many things. If you don't use it, you lose it. It's something that does not enter autopilot. You need to have something in place, even if it's not particularly intense, to maintain what you've achieved.
How rewarding is it when a student of yours goes from 0 to fluency?
That means the world to me, bro. Like the thing that
how often do you get that feeling? Like, how often does that happen?
So the experience that means more to me when a student after 4 weeks comes to me and says that they understood something recited in Salat al-Maghrib. That means the world to me. But more so than somebody going into a restaurant and ordering something. Like, because the experience for me, there's an ayah in Surah Al-Hadid that I love where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, هُوَ الَّذِي يُنَزِّلُ عَلَىٰ عَبْدِهِ آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ لِيُخْرِجَكُم مِّنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. and that he sent down upon his servant clear signs that he would bring you from the darkness into the light. And I remember being stood in Salat al-Maghrib in Palestine when I was studying there and hearing that ayah and for the first time fully understanding it. And it was almost as if that ayah was a description of what was happening. Like Allah had even given me some small knowledge of the Arabic language to understand this, that it would bring me from the darkness into the light. And particularly, I don't know, I was going to say particularly revert brothers maybe, just because I kind of resonate with them, having never heard the Qur'an in their lives until they were adults, and then developing some kind of deep connection for it. But I experienced students telling me after really 4 weeks of starting to spot words, because the Arabic Reconnect is designed vocab-wise to have very, very high frequency Quranic vocab early in the program, where possible. Like you don't want to get to a point where students understand 10% of the vocab in the Qur'an, but understand 100% of 0 ayat. So sometimes that happens. There needs to be a balance with that and also understanding complete ayat.
Sure.
But if a student has a good command over the verbs kana and qala, they understand a few words per page in the entire Qur'an.
Yes.
Just those 2 verbs alone. So that's what keeps me going through it really, bro. I'm not really of a I don't feel like I have the personality really to be like a business person and have my own thing necessarily. But it's mission driven. It's that I want to serve the students, that I can help achieve that, I'm a person who gets, I really suffer with the lack of clarity in it sometimes, or the lack of institution and things like that really. It's lonely. I don't need to explain to you. Do you know what I mean? When you run something of your own and you're the last line of defense if something's good or not when it goes out, and it's something that's a heavy weight for me personally to carry.
Yeah, of
Some
course.
people are very
nonchalant.
not very nonchalant about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. Maybe because I've got a wife and kids at home. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But what keeps me doing it is the messages from students saying, I attended the masjid this evening for Salat al-Isha, and I really understood what Qul Huwallahu Ahad meant.
Yeah. That is incredible.
That means everything to me.
Of course. How are your kids?
They're very well, alhamdulillah.
Which language do you speak to them in again? You told me.
So we use sign language in English.
That's what
at
you said,
home.
yeah.
Yeah. And Somali is almost secondary beyond that. I find myself using Somali to tell them off. There's a certain punch to Somali that English doesn't really have.
So you speak in did you say you speak in English Sign Language or Sign Language and English?
Sign language and English.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but it's British Sign Language.
Okay.
But I'm really glad I waited for them to be a little bit older before we made Umrah. Obviously we were talking about it before, but people listening, they don't know that I made Umrah before I came here, right? And then we went to Medina.
Is that the first time you guys went as a family?
It's the first time I'd ever been.
Oh, really?
It was my first Umrah.
How did you find it?
I found it exactly as I expected, really. I expected Mecca to be a place where you would be tested.
Yeah.
Even the Prophet ﷺ was tested. It was a place that even expelled him. It's a place where your sincerity will be tested. You will need to have sabr in Mecca. But my children, honestly, I'm so proud of my boys.
How old are they?
9 and 6.
Allahumma barak.
Yeah, so even making tawaf, doing it themselves. And we were there really late.
You got the 2 boys. You've got 2 boys. That's all your kids.
Yeah, that's right.
Allahumma barak. How long are you here for again?
So I don't have a return flight booked.
Allahumma
I'm
barak.
here at the moment, indefinitely.
You should spend some more time in the studio, man.
Yeah, possibly, inshallah.
Yeah, especially if you
I'm
just
welcome. I don't want to overstay my welcome.
The door is always open. Literally, there's a key outside the door. It's literally always open.
Jazakallah khairan.
But of course, you're more than welcome, man. Just pitch up, get your work done here, and especially sometimes you just want to kind of get away and get some work done. But if you're here for a while, man, we should definitely meet up. I've also got a 6-year-old boy, or he's 6 in a few weeks.
So Zakaria?
So Zakaria's,
Okay,
yeah.
mashallah.
Yeah, so man, we should connect, man, get the wives together.
Yeah, 100%.
And how was your wife's experience in Umrah though? Because obviously with her being deaf, I imagine the experience is a lot different and perhaps more challenging.
I'm not sure because it's so visual.
It is very visual, you're right.
Even now they've got the green light when you go
Yes.
past the black stone and stuff. It's such a visual experience, and it's even physical because everyone's pushing you around and stuff all the time. It's not so much about about what you hear.
That's
really.
true. That's true, actually.
The experience is very visual. I hadn't really
is,
thought
yeah,
about it
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
No, I
from her
hadn't either.
perspective, but the experience is very like physical and visual. So it was fun. I almost lost her when we did the running at Safa and Marwa. Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing. I almost lost her.
Oh gosh. That is Safa Marwa is like
Yeah.
it's so easy to, and then yeah, man, it's like there's parts where it gets really busy, and then it gets like starts getting the people are like constantly flowing in and out, and it's like, yeah, the feeling of completing like that part of Umrah is like very fulfilling because it's like, and then, and you also just, and I find Safa Marwa like is the part of Umrah that connects me the most with like the origins story of like the whole of like Makkah and the building of the Kaaba and the traveling of getting the Zamzam, like, because you are that's all that's happening in your mind as you're doing it, because you think, why am I doing this? What does this symbolize? Like, what is the reason for it? And it really, I don't know, for me, it really, that connects my heart the most every time. You would think it'd be Tawaf. I love Tawaf, but Tawaf's very like, in many ways, like getting the job done, because it gets busy and you get like, you know, trapped, you feel, but with Safa Marwa is like kind of, I don't know, my heart feels, I feel like there's a lot more contemplation happening at that point.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'd maybe like to do it when my boys are even older, or even like just me and my wife one time. It's because you've kind of got like a responsibility of looking after your flock a little bit, making sure you haven't lost the kids. We have those leashes on our wrists, which I think is a really good idea. If people make Ramadan, it's really good to get those leashes that connect you with the kids and that, so you don't lose them. But
this is not doing us any service with regards to our non-Muslim listeners.
Usually, if
of which we have none, I think.
like,
so it's fine.
Because usually what we'd do, like let's say we're in like a big like shopping mall or something in Mogadishu. If we ever like couldn't see the kid's mum, it'd be like, who's wearing the black abaya or whatever, like, because women wear like different colors and stuff in Mogadishu,
okay, fine.
But it doesn't help you in the Haram.
No,
everyone's wearing a black abaya.
Yes.
We found her, by the way. She has joined us.
Nice.
It was on like the 6th.
Okay,
run
fine.
That we found her again. Alhamdulillah.
I have my kids wear AirTags.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got them. They don't wear it all the time. They don't wear them in Dubai because Dubai is so safe that my kids, Allah Barak, like they, you know, if my kids left the house, you know, there would be a neighbor who would knock on the door, like, oh, like I found your kid outside, like. So Dubai's like, you know, we did lose Zachariah once in a mall for a few minutes, and it was a bit panicky. But then also you're like, in the back of your head, have a bit of reassurance. You're like, but we're in Dubai, so like it's going to be fine. And then you found him, and you know, you teach your kids who to look for, who to find. And my mum's like really like big on making sure the kids are educated on like those things. I tell my kids, look, if you lose us or anything, just go to somebody who works at a shop, or like someone like a security guard, and just say like, I can't find my parents. And my mom was like, no, that's not enough. She's like, you go to the person behind the till. She's like, because anybody could look like a security guard and look like they work there, but the person behind the till definitely does. So you go to the till, you go behind the till, and you say, oh, bless someone, which is a fair point. But in the UK, when they go on summer holidays stuff, they wear AirTag. So there's a AirTag watch, which is like a watch strap, and then the AirTag goes inside that. We have that, and we have like this pin one where you can pin an AirTag to like the trousers or something. I used to use that, but the problem is obviously I can't, when they're in the UK, often I'm still here, and so I can't also rely on them like knowing to like change it every trousers and stuff like that. So when we go to the UK, I said to them, listen, this is your watch for the UK, this is your Apple Watch. You keep it on you, and they just make sure they keep it on them the whole trip, and it's like just gives you a little bit of reassurance. I think like AirTags are a good shout for kids when they're really young, especially someone at the Ḥaram. And they're very useful, man.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, 100%. We had a lot of preparations, alhamdulillah. Like I even got like name tags for them with like our phone number on it and stuff like that. So they're so easy. It's so easy to do things like that.
And kids get lost all the time. There's so much security and stuff. Alhamdulillah, they didn't yours. But I mean, Sheikh Muhammad Tim I remember he told us this story about how his oldest son, Abdul Rahman, when he was like 2 or something, because Sheikh Muhammad Tim's oldest son was born when the Sheikh was studying in the Jamia. So he was living with him in Medina. So he kind of like ended up being so familiar with Masjid Nabawi, which is what a beautiful thing, like growing up in Masjid Nabawi, basically, like from 0 to like, I think like 3 years old. He just was raised by the masjid, and he started just becoming like known with the people, the locals of the masjid and the mashayikh of the masjid. And so, you know how big Masjid Nabawi is. He just got lost, and I don't know, I can't remember the end of the story, but he Abdurrahman is still with us and with the sheikh and doing very well. So at some point he did get found.
He must be in his late teens or something now.
Oh yeah, man. He's like,
I remember you having Ustad Mohammed Tim on the podcast, and I think he was 14 at the time. He was talking about homeschooling and stuff.
Yes.
Living here in Dubai as well. That episode must have been 3 years ago, 4 years ago, even something like that. So he must be in his late teens now.
You'll see the sheikh now. Inshallah. If you stick around for another hour,
it'll be an honor and a pleasure for me.
Yeah, you see him because at the masjid, inshallah.
Okay, mashallah.
It's a shame because I won't be here because we've got like some specific day with the kids at school.
Right.
So straight after this, I have to shoot and drop. My missus is going to do the day with the kids and all that kind of stuff. So I've got to drop the car. What was I saying before I started telling you my schedule?
I don't know,
today?
do you want me to just make up some topic or whatever?
No. We're talking about Umrah. So I got sidetracked by the fact that this was your first Umrah. We're talking about sign language. Road sign language. Tell me about it.
Oh, yeah.
How do you have accents in sign language?
Look, people who are speaking English have hand gestures.
That's true.
That lend towards certain youth. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe not youth, I don't know. But yeah, and it's just that really, like the way people kind of throw their hands. Do you know what I mean? When they're talking, you know. I'm not as sort of in tune with it, but like my wife can pick up on like accents in sign language and stuff. Yeah, so that totally exists. Yeah, subhanallah.
And how, I imagine, of course it was very intentional, but how has the process been of teaching your kids sign language and them speaking sign language? I imagine it's just the norm for them, and it just sounds like such a beautiful, lovely household. Allahumma barik. I mean, Allah bless your family and your entire household to be in that you guys, in that you prioritized that speaking of, or the signing of sign. What would you say? Speaking of sign?
The using of it.
The using of sign.
Say,
that it's so normalized and inclusive. And I imagine that your wife must be so, I don't know, like content, you know, that
she ain't content, mate. There are a lot of problems. I'll give her a lot of problems. I'll tell you. No, like,
you know, I've spoken to you about this previously, and it just it feels so nice to know that kind of like environment is what you've cultivated at home.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. It's certainly because me and the boys, we're not the ones who use sign language out of like necessity, you know. So like we kind of have this bonus language between us, me and the boys. Like there's a thing that my boys do when they attend an online school now, but when they're at a physical school where I drop them off, they would always do this to me. And this is actually American sign, meaning I love you. Oh. They'd always do this to me instead of saying out.
My kids do that, but that's when they're trying to get webs out of their
right, this
forearms.
way. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
I saw my son yesterday. I came upstairs and I was just going. I was like,
you know, must have been gutted when the web slingers weren't coming out.
Yeah. But okay, fine. So that's the American sign for.
Yeah, so things like that. So they'd be walking into school and like they'd look back and be like,
God, that's so cute, bro. That's so cute.
So that's like a little thing that we have.
That is the cutest thing. God, Barik. How is what is their accent like? Their English accent?
Oh,
is it more
because the school that I went to in Somalia was like an international school, so I'd come home saying things with like a bit of a Swedish accent and stuff sometimes, or like they'd say like water and like some kind of like American or Canadian accent and stuff sometimes. So but they've been in an online school now for nearly a year, and it's all, I mean the teachers are all British.
Okay.
So they've got like, I don't know, they sound like British folk, just like us really now.
Yeah. So the school that my kids go to now is British, but the one that they went to before was still British, but it was there was a lot of, I think all the teaching assistants were Filipino, and there were some American teachers as well, even though it was British curriculum, whereas this school is like, I think like all of the teachers are British, whereas the other one British curriculum but a mix of teachers. And so my oldest son Zachariah, his teacher for the last 2 years has been American. And then teaching assistants have been Filipino. And so he's been saying things like trash can instead of bin. By default, the word for sweets in our house is candy. At first, it was like me and my wife had a real like opposition against the word candy, but like we've just got used to it now. It's like, okay, as a candy, no, you can't have any candy. Like it's just the norm for us now, which is a real shame. I feel like I'm kind of letting my British culture down in that regard. But yeah, there's these things that they'll just say, like you said, in an American tone, that every now and again it just catches us. We're like, oh my gosh, it's so American what you're saying. I can't think of which ones. Trash and candy are like the main ones I could think of.
Is it your goal for your children to be raised here in Dubai indefinitely? Like you don't have plans to go anywhere else?
Yeah, I don't have plans to go. I'm not a mover and a shaker, bro. I like to be, I mean, look, do you know what I mean? Like this table's heavy. It's hard to move. Yeah, I plan to stay in places for long periods of time.
In that case, you're preparing your children for the language of an international city, aren't you? You're not preparing your children for the language of, West London.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's where they're going to be.
Although they love going back to London. They go back to London they're in London for like almost 3 months of the year in the summer. So they have a real connection with London, which is nice.
I like going back to London sometimes. Or not London specifically, but the UK generally. I miss our countryside sometimes. Like I grew up.
You grew up in the countryside?
Breathing that fresh air, seeing the patchwork fields and things like that.
Which UK food do you miss the most?
So I cook a roast dinner when I'm there, like every couple of weeks for my in-laws.
Nice.
Although they're Somalis, they love a roast dinner.
Who doesn't love a roast?
Well, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
do you go for the small Yorkshire puddings or do you go for that big Yorkshire pudding that's like
depends
a plate?
on time.
Fine.
I'll go for the small ones if like we don't have a lot of time. Usually when we're in the UK, we take the boys to play football.
Okay.
On a Monday or a Sunday or Saturday, whatever it is, and then we'll come back and I'll do a big roast. So it'll be ready by late afternoon. Sometimes if I've got the time, I'll get like a whole big dish of like hot fat and I'll pour the batter into it and we'll have like a big one. That's how my grandma used to do it. But if there's not enough time, I find the little frozen ones that get the job done.
Yeah.
Especially if there's loads. Like, Allahumma barik. My in-laws are a big family.
Allahumma barik.
So may Allah bless them. They're a big family, mashallah. My wife's one of 12 children.
Allahumma barik.
Yeah, mashallah. And there's a lot of aunties and uncles around and stuff like that. And I really enjoy cooking for a big group like that.
Really?
Like it's something really practical. I'm not... like growing up in Cornwall, it's kind of part of our culture that we send our kids to like work in hotels and like ice cream shops and stuff like that in the summer. And I was sent to a hotel to work in the kitchen.
Okay.
And so from the age of like 13, I was around like catering and stuff. And like I learned how to cook this sort of stuff. But I've never really been very impressed with like fine dining type stuff. It's my 10-year wedding anniversary tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to take my wife somewhere.
Allahumma barik.
Nice, but yeah, jazakallah khairah. But I'm not really generally into like cooking, like fine dining and putting the garnishing on places. But feeding people is something that means a lot to me. I like cooking a warm, hearty meal for hungry people.
I like the same thing. So I found that I was speaking to Bob yesterday about the exact thing, and he said I've recently got into. So he's expecting his third child now, and so I was like, oh, that's fun. Like, if your family coming down? He goes, yeah, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law are going to come down. And I said, oh, then you're going to be useless because like they're going to be like just so hands-on. And I had the same experience when my missus was expecting Laith. It was like, your in-laws come down and they're just so amazing. They just help look after so much that you're kind of just like, well, I guess I'm not needed, right? But you have to kind of make yourself busy still. And so I was like, what are you going to do? He goes, bro, I've really got into cooking, so I'm just going to cook for everyone. So we were bonding over that because I had gotten into cooking after marriage as well. But like, I think kind of around COVID time, but I don't cook. Oh man, I can't remember the last time I cooked now. I don't cook much anymore. There was a time in the UK where I got really into it. I have once or twice out here, but what I enjoy about it, I don't like cooking under pressure. I don't like cooking if it's like, I need to cook. Right. But I like cooking if I was like, I'm stressed, got lots going on. And what cooking does is it makes you just focus on one thing. And so you don't have time and chance to think about anything else. You don't think about work because you're really, pedantically and granularly thinking about the ingredients and how to do this and how to do that. And that's what I've found enjoyable with it is the level of relaxation I get out of cooking. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, it's really therapeutic.
Yes.
Chopping vegetables and stuff is really therapeutic. But bro, it's a privilege, man, to be able to think about cooking just for like leisure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's probably a few thousand sisters watching this thinking it's all right for you.
Yeah.
We have the pressure to provide a meal like 3 times a day or whatever. But when I have to do that, like when I'm actually cooking for my kids at home, I don't do anything complicated. I'll do my boys love
An air fryer.
no, I do cheesy mash and beans. They love that. I
Nice.
make it like a volcano and put the beans in it. So
Oh,
the beans
that's really
they love
nice.
that. It's like their favorite thing.
That's incredible.
So, but it's not difficult to do that.
Yeah,
but
of
I'm
course.
not doing things like roasts regularly.
Yeah.
Bro, in like among Pakistanis, whenever I've been to like Pakistani people's households, they seem to always have like a complex dish, like a curry or something.
For breakfast.
Like, no, I don't move for breakfast. I don't tend to go to people's houses at breakfast
For
time.
breakfast
but
time, yeah.
But like
what
that-
have you got served up?
it seems like that's like an expected, like for white people, for us English folk, like if you come to someone's house and they've made beans on toast with grated red Leicester cheese on it, we're like, oh, this is the good.
No,
life.
you're
This is-
lying.
but,
You're
like,
exaggerating.
I don't.
Not beans on toast.
I don't know if I am, man. No, okay,
Really?
it might be like a pasta bake.
Yeah,
maybe.
pasta
okay,
bake,
a pasta
yeah,
bake.
yeah,
My
yeah,
mum would
pasta
do it.
bake.
Mum,
Yeah, yeah.
lovely pasta bake,
Yeah.
right? But like when I go to Pakistanis' houses, it seems like they might like the women of the house will have prepared this complex dish with
Yeah.
like 20 ingredients and stuff. I just can't imagine the labour in it.
Yeah, some of my mother-in-law, man.
May Allah bless her.
Yeah, I mean,
But
yeah,
I'm
even
not
my mum.
gonna-
When you go to my mum's house, like when we go back to the UK now, it's like she's got a dining table full of just so many different things. But my mum loves to cook a roast as
Okay.
well.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah, we were brought up very like roasts, lasagnas, pastas, things like that as
Do your
well.
family feel the need to put like a Pakistani twist on it if they do
Uh,
a roast?
No.
Okay.
But it depends, like, because my mum, she can cook Pakistani food and non-Pakistani food, but a lot of my memories of growing up were like lasagnas, pastas, roasts, quiches, stuff like that, and just some of my favorite food. But then when we'd go to my nan's, that's when there'd be like aloo paratha
Right.
and stuff like that. I want to know, because you traveled so much about some of your favorite foods around the world. So we've done Britain. I want to know your favorite Arabic food, your favorite Somali food, Pakistani food, Palestinian, because you live in Palestine. Give me a little bit of a breakdown of some of your favorite foods around the world.
I'll admit, my favorite cuisine in the world is Pakistani food, man. Like,
Okay, a few people said that.
not because of present company. I'm not just saying it for that, but like it's almost as if a Pakistani in particular, the whole of South Asia, but Pakistani in particular, say you're 2,000 years ahead of everyone else.
With food.
Yeah, with food, like the complexity of flavors, like even the length of time committed to certain dishes. There are some dishes, like Pakistani dishes, that will take hours and hours to cook right if you do it traditionally. I just think the how sophisticated it is like thousands of years ahead of everyone else, honestly. But it's for different vibes. I couldn't eat Pakistani food every day, man.
No.
Like, alhamdulillah, in the past year, I've lost a lot of weight. I was real chunky this time,
Really?
sort of last year. Yeah, really chunky. I mean,
How much did you lose? Go on, give us the deets.
yeah, so
Go on.
I lost about 9 kilos.
Allahumma barik. That's
Yeah,
incredible, bro.
alhamdulillah. Yeah, and I'm not like a tall guy. If you're tall, like, I don't know, and you were very, very big, like 9 kilos might be a lot, but
Yeah.
I
No, like you is a lot.
no, it's
Yeah,
it's
so you
loads.
mean
It's loads of
yeah.
weight. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like,
How did you do it?
do you mean so? There's like a reason why, or kind of 2 reasons why. Like, I got to a point where I didn't like how I saw in the mirror.
Okay.
Like, I remember a few times I'd shoot a video, and like there'd also be like the awkward bit at the end of the video, and I'd get up from the table to go and like turn off the camera, and I'd look at myself and be like, bro, this isn't you, man. Like, you don't want to look like that.
Yeah.
And then another time, something about my wife as well. Like, I remember I was like, I was getting ready for bed, putting my pajamas on and stuff. My missus was like, you should have a 6-pack. And the first thing I thought was like, why would you say that to me? Like, why would you just say it as bluntly to me? And I was lying there in bed like this. And I was like, she was right, you know. Like, why don't I have a 6-pack? So, like, there's no excuse. Like, you know, like in Somalia, it's so easy to eat fresh, clean and lean food. Like, meat in particular, like, I've got Somalia to thank. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Somalia in general, how easy and how cheap it is to eat steaks and like animal products. Livestock is a thing they do well there, among other things. But like they're well known for meat there. So like the diet was part of it. So there was like an inspiration, but then also like the method. My first 2 weeks was just tracking what I ate. Not even in terms of calories. Like, I just had like a file on Notion where I just write down what I ate. And after the 2 weeks, I looked back at it and I was thinking, like, you don't need 4 cakes for dinner, Sam. Like, I was looking back at what I'd been eating.
4 cakes?
No, like that's not a real example.
Okay,
the
fine.
example is in Somalia, sometimes we have these like dough balls called ma'ma'an
Okay.
that we put like condensed milk on. And
Lovely.
Stuff. and I'd had like 15 of them or something after dinner. They're not big; they're like this big, like golf ball size, but 15, bro. You don't need 15.
15 of anything is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot in it. But so I was just looking at that, like, and so the first thing was just being aware of what I am actually eating.
Yeah.
And there's a few things that were like really big impact in helping me lose weight. Like one of them is black coffee.
Yeah.
Like black coffee was just huge because it suppressed my appetite a lot, and it gave me the energy that I needed in the mornings.
Yes.
Like I like to work in the morning, so I'll get up, have a black coffee, and just get to work.
Yeah.
And then you'll sleep. Like I like when I'm trying to achieve things in my life, I like thinking what is like the KPI, like what is the main thing to track. And I was thinking like I'm not really a person who wants a big deadlift or a bench press. That's not really like very important to me. If I can bench 80, 120, whatever it is, right? That's not like a metric.
That's not light. That's not light bench.
That's not a that's not a metric that I really care about.
Okay.
I was thinking like what metric is most in line with what I actually want to be, which is like I want to be energetic, I want to have energy for my family, I want to have focus for my work, and I want to have a body that I'm not ashamed of, basically. And I kind of thought that the main metric for that is probably my sleep. Like, it's probably not a specific sport or a specific lift. It's actually my sleep quality. Because, like, if you sleep well, my diet's way better if I sleep well. If I don't sleep well, my diet's horrible. I'm looking to supplement the energy with just awful food. And I'm making terrible decisions because I'm sleep deprived and stuff as well.
But everything is better if you sleep well. Everything. Yeah. It's like the main, factor of whether you're going to have a good day is if you had a good night's sleep.
Yeah, 100%. So like, black coffee, but only in the mornings, and getting decaf in the afternoons.
Okay.
Like decaf, I found it very hard to find decaf coffee in Mecca and Medina.
Really?
I don't know if it's just something maybe they don't do. Like, I don't know, like, if you've got decaf coffee here in Dubai.
Loads, yeah. Everywhere you go,
you do, yeah. I got some actually, yeah. Yeah, so decaf coffee was a big one for me, because I like coffee.
Yeah.
Like, I'll drink 4 cups a day. Maybe I love it. I could drink more, but
how many of those 4 are decaf?
All of them after 11 a.m.
Really?
Yeah.
It's 3 cups of decaf.
So, no, I might have like 2 regular in the morning, and then like 2 like after my first meal, things like that, decaf. So I'm sleeping well as well. And then over time, I just became more discriminate about what I was putting in my face generally. Yeah. Like, it's kind of insane for me to think, really, there was a long time, like a lot of my 20s, was just me fancying something, so eating it. Or like, in our lives, we often think that there's a problem, and we think that the solution, we diagnose the solution as the thing that's perhaps easiest, rather than what is really the deepest issue. Like for me, my overeating was because I was struggling financially and had no direction in my work. That was really like, and sometimes I'd be going and making coffee to distract myself from looking at my laptop because I didn't know what I was doing next. Like I wasn't grounded in what I really wanted to do, and it was an escapism. Right, so like it took me a lot of digging to realize that was actually why I was overeating. That's actually why I was having so much coffee.
I can relate to you so much on so many of these things.
SubhanAllah.
The 2 things that you mentioned just now that stuck out the most. One was the thing that you mentioned right at the beginning, which was the intentionality, just being intentional about what you're eating. When I went to the UK just now, I went to the UK and I put on 5 kilos, bro. Alhamdulillah, I've lost it now.
How long were you there for?
2 weeks.
5 kilos.
Yeah. And guess what? I thought I was eating healthy when I was there.
All
no, I was there 3 weeks. I thought I was eating healthy when I was there.
That's right then.
But yeah. But you know what it was, bro? It was the intention. It was the intention thing of like, it was the thing of waking up at my mom's house, and Allahu Barik, her kitchen's full because she knows she's got everyone visiting from the UK. There's croissants, there's cookies, there's so I'm thinking. When I'm going, oh no, I'll have just that, but I won't have that or whatever. But my sister's like, oh, first you want a cup of tea? Yeah, I'll have a cup of tea. She give me a cup of tea, put some biscuits there. Well, 2 of those biscuits has 300 calories now that you've had, right? And out here in Dubai, I've only had 300 calories, and it's like, I wake up, let's say for example, I wake up at Fus'ha time, by like 1 p.m, I've only had about 300 calories. And in London, I was having that with my cup of tea. Yeah. And then both my brother-in-laws got married this summer. And so we were invited in the Pakistani culture when like someone in your family gets married, you as an extension of that family get invited to loads of people's houses with them for dinners. And so pretty much every day there's another dinner at somebody's house, and you're rude not to eat. So you're eating, and then I was like, right, while I'm in the UK, I need to cram all my meetings in. But I could only get them done in the evenings. And so, well, in the evenings, shops are closed, as in coffee shops. So it's either, and sometimes some of them are really late. And so it's either we go to, the only other option to go to is a restaurant or a dessert place, basically, right? So we're not going to go to shisha bars. And so I'm having my meeting. So I'm doing a big family dinner, and I'm like meeting brothers at a dessert place for a meeting. And it's like they're ordering and you're ordering. So I came back. So I was like, so that was intentional. I came back and I just like, right. I was on the black coffees. I still am. Wake up in the morning, have my coffee, and then just being careful of what I'm eating, basically, right? And the second thing is the eating with stress. The boys noticed in the office. I think Sulaiman or Ibrahim said to me recently, like, do you know what we've noticed? That you stress eat. Like, if we're having a conversation, we're having a meeting, we're trying to figure something out, like monetization or something like that. I just like slowly started drifting towards that kitchenette area. And then you just find that I start like, we have like granola and stuff like that, and just eating, which is like going at the sweets and stuff. So I'm a stress eater too, but changing the intention and realizing what you're doing is such a big part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think generally, perhaps Muslims specifically in the UK have a real problem with like eating out at restaurants.
Really?
Bro, if I go to, like, I've got one of my best friends lives in Maidenhead, and sometimes like him and I will meet, if I'm staying in London, we'll meet in Slough, right? It's full of Muslims going to restaurants, man.
Yeah, but then what else can you do?
Yeah, I know. I've heard this argument of like Muslims not like don't drink alcohol, for example, like they don't go out like clubbing or shouldn't. Yeah. So go to restaurants, right, instead. And I get that. There's certainly a part of it, but I think a lot of it is fed by just not cooking at home enough. Like,
but I mean, in Pakistani culture, at least, like even eating at home, like it's big plates, it's rice and you know.
Yeah,
roti
this
and
thought of mine is more an
curries and it's heavy.
Yeah. I get the thought of mine is more actually an economic one, right?
Yeah.
Like people struggling financially, but still
eating out.
Eating out maybe. That's actually kind of more where it comes from, I think.
I saw this video on Instagram, and it really changed my perception on food. And it was a Christian guy, and kind of like the wording of what he said is not really necessarily appropriate. Or I'd say like it's a little bit problematic, but I think the message behind what he said I really resonate with. And he said, I'll say the wording that he said. He said, how you should be treating your body and eating basically is you should see it as like you're eating from God's garden. And he said, if it grows in the garden, if it lives in the garden, and if it grows in the garden or lives in the garden, you can eat it. If it doesn't, you don't. And instantly, that just goes, okay, well, if something grows on a tree, you know, apples, bananas go on trees, don't they? Yeah. Banana tree. Apples, bananas, fruit. If it walks in the garden, he said, cows, livestock, you know, you eat it. And if it doesn't, and it's just really simple. Bro, after that, for, I would say months, bro, when we were doing our shop and things like that, I would just look at things with that perception. You look at something and you go, a croissant.
Oreos don't grow in a garden.
Yeah, Oreos. A croissant doesn't grow. Like a croissant's been put together in a lab, essentially, right? If you look at it like that,
100%.
It's not. You couldn't pick a croissant off a tree or you know, slaughter a croissant and eat it. So then you start looking at things like that and you go, there's so many things that we put in our body that it's just like, it's just manufactured. And if you think about the pious predecessors, you know, the Sahaba, you know, it's like you go out and you hunt for your meat, you get your food and you eat it. And it's Allah has put that food on the earth. It simplifies the diet so much and you actually don't need much at all. So yeah, that helped me as well, just like understand that perception.
SubhanAllah. That's exactly what I was thinking actually about. Like how tayyib would the diet of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have been. Like, I think the most complex, most processed thing would have been like barley bread. Yeah. Which even that has like maybe 3 ingredients.
I've read something, I don't know how authentic this is, but I read something that he sallallahu alaihi wasallam would never mix food groups. Okay. So like you know, like fish and chicken and stuff like that. And then it just instantly made me think about the Pakistani household and like, you know, we're ordering, you know, you go to a restaurant, a Pakistani restaurant, and you go, right, let's get a chicken dish, let's get a lamb dish, let's get a fish dish. And it's like, then you eat a bit of that and you get a bit of that on your plate, you get a bit of that on your plate. Or if you go to a wedding, you have like, you know, your starters will be like a fish tikka and chicken tikka and then like a, you know, a lamb kebab. and then your mains again. You got to mix. So I said you just mix all these different things. It just doesn't sit well if you really think about it. When you could just, have open a can of tuna and have that with whatever some brown rice.
Leaves.
Yeah, even leaves. No, but it's true.
Spinach,
and often it fills you up just as much if you have enough of it. The other thing, my wife told me something that I found really interesting. She said the thing with whole foods is that your body naturally eats what it needs from it, and then that's it. You actually feel full. So she said to me, for example, you can't have. She said to me, if I gave you a packet of biscuits, and there was like, let's say 20 Oreos in there, right? You could, if you wanted to eat all 20 of those Oreos in one go. Yeah. Tried and tested, brother. Yeah. But she goes, if I give you 5 apples, after 2, maybe 3, you'd be like, I literally cannot handle another apple. Do not give me another apple.
Yeah.
I'll feel sick. That's a good thing. That's because the whole food has all of its ingredients, and your body is like, yep, thank you, check, I've got everything I need. Apple is what? 100 calories for an apple? A bit more. An Oreo is like what? Like 80 calories. So calories wise, a packet of biscuits is actually even more than 2 or 3 apples. You get 2 or 3 apples, you feel so full, you feel sick at the thought of another apple.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's so true.
The concept of foods that are high satiety is something that I found really interesting.
What does satiety mean?
So it's satiating, it fills you up. Right?
Okay.
So I eat loads of just white boiled potatoes. I think the potato is so underrated, bro. It's an amazing food.
The potato is an underrated food, you're right.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, big up the potato.
But the problem is most people put like cream and cheese in their mash and stuff like that. That's the problem.
Some people feed that to their children, making it into a tornado or a mountain.
Some people do. Yeah, no, my boys love it. No apologies. For that.
Exactly.
But if your objective as a grown man is to lose fat,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of boiled or roasted sweet potatoes and even just regular white potato because they're so filling.
Yes.
Like there's lots of ways of eating a potato, but some of them are more filling than others. Like you can really fill yourself up on relatively few calories with just like boiled potatoes, but not when you put double cream and stuff in it. Like when I do mash with the roast for my in-laws, I always warn them, I'm like, this has got cream and butter in it.
Double cream,
yeah. But when your objective for your lifestyle is to reduce the amount of fat on your body, then I'm a big fan of the potato.
Do you know what? High satiety.
Big fan of the potato.
Yeah, those foods. You're right. I find that in tuna, like a can of tuna.
Oh yeah, cool.
You have a can of tuna, you're full with something. Fish in general, like sardines. I've been having a lot of sardines recently. Too much to Suleiman's disgust, for lack of a better term. I told him I was like, my diet right now. It's like, for lunch I'll have a brown seeded bread with sardines on it. He's like, bro, you're eating jail food. Sardines, tuna, I find like they fill you up. Fruit in general, like you said, black coffee. But yeah, everything like that's objectively tasty in like the current market, all these snacks and things like that. You could just eat so many of them, and it's so high in calorie, and they don't fill you up. You could just keep eating them.
I like that about Somalia because those things are really expensive.
Are they?
Yeah, if you want to buy a tube of Pringles, like it's $4 maybe because the import there's huge import costs.
Some of that exists here as well.
Right, okay. So there's like real encouragement to just eat the local food. And the local food is basically animals and milk. Fruit and veg as well, but like the main produce of Somalia is livestock.
Milk.
We drink loads of camel milk. Have you ever had camel milk?
I have not. Kai has been telling me for a long. They have a lot of that here.
Right.
Yeah. As you can imagine, you can get camel milk here. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it.
Is it nice? What does it taste like?
So, I don't know how much of the taste is more because it's just not processed at all.
Sure.
Like if you milked a cow into a bag and drank it, I don't know how different that would taste. But all the cow milk I drink in the UK is like massively processed.
Okay.
Versus like the camel milk that I drink in Somalia, like they milk it into a bag. Or we buy bags of camel milk and then we put it in our tea and drink it and stuff. Or we just drink it like.
What does it taste like?
So there's almost like a. Definitely like
for those of you who are just listening to the podcast, not watching it, Sam just licked his lips before explaining it. So I think you did that. That was almost like a Freudian slip. Yeah, you didn't even realize you just did that. What does it taste like?
Yeah. So
My
it's
4-year-old Khalil does that all the time. Like, Khalil, do you want to have like this snack? He goes, it's like a cartoon, bro. It's like, you see that stuff in movies. Yeah,
well, it's definitely like thicker and creamier. But as I said, I don't know if that's because it's not pasteurized, if it's just fatty from the udder. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it also has like almost has like there's like a slight sourness to it, but in the same way that like ayran, the drink, does, right?
Yes,
like,
okay.
Yeah, so in that kind of way.
Right.
But then there's the only way they treat it is they put it in like they shake it in a thing called a deal, like a wooden thingy with a bit of black coal in it. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what that kind of adds to it. So there's also like a taste from the charcoal as well.
Yeah, nice.
Tastes are difficult to explain, really.
Yeah.
How does an apple taste? I mean,
That's a good
It's
question.
very difficult to explain what tastes.
How does an apple taste, Ibrahim?
Fresh. Nah. I don't know. Sometimes a bit sour, sometimes a bit sweet.
Similar to the idea of like describing a color to a blind person, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Wow, how would you do that?
or how do you even know that the green you see is the same as the green I see?
Well, I think we see the same green.
That's not evidence, is it? Like you've just said, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Based on what, Faisal?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's true.
Yeah, subhanallah.
There's some truth to what you're saying. Yeah, man. Sam, it's been lovely to have you on the podcast, man. I really, really appreciate your time. It's always lovely to see you. It's lovely to talk to you. I always feel so inspired after I've spoken to you. And there's not many, people I think on the podcast that I feel like I could just speak for hours and hours and hours and hours. And you are one of those people who I really feel like I could talk to forever, man. I love your company. I enjoy your company. I always just feel so refreshed after seeing you and speaking to you. So may Allah bless you, bro. May Allah bless your family. You're here for a while, so let's stay in touch. Please do come down to the office and spend some time with us, man.
I'd love to, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan for having me.
Well,
It's always an absolute pleasure to get to experience having a good conversation with you, my brother. So may Allah bless you and the brothers as well here at Freshly Grounded.
And lastly, if anybody wants to sign up to Arabic Reconnect, is that something that's available now?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, go to find me on Instagram at Sam Martin Burr. I'll go to anywhere Arabic with Sam as well, on YouTube Arabic with Sam. Google Arabic Reconnect as well, because there might be a name change coming.
Okay.
So Google Arabic Reconnect as well. But whatever you do, if you search Arabic with Sam, you'll find me.
Yeah, fine. Amazing. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This was episode 403 of Freshly Grounded. We will see you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.